Extremity, written by Nicholas Binge, read for you by Marian Hussey. 1. Julia Torgrimsen. It didn't happen the way you think it did. That's the first thing I want on the record. I know it won't make a difference. I've been in this seat before, but I wanted to say it anyway. And yes, I'm aware that this isn't how it looks. It's just about the oldest cliché in the book. I'm aware that you have a trail of bodies, and the only thing that connects all of them is me. I'm aware of Occam's razor. But when you know the whole world is going to declare you guilty, the only thing you can cling on to is your own innocence. If you let that go, you have nothing left. I was lying in bed when it started, when they knocked on my door. I wasn't sleeping. I don't really do that anymore, not properly anyway. Sometimes I nap in front of the TV, or I sit down in the shower with the water rushing over my head and my eyes close for a bit. But a night's sleep, in a bed, that belongs to a different life. I was watching letters burn. I still get them, even after all this time. Fan mail. How ridiculous is that? I don't even read them anymore. There's no point. Nobody left in my life has any business sending me letters. I put them all in this small metal pot and set them on fire. It was 10:44 p.m. I remember because apart from the little fire, the digital clock on my bedside table was the brightest thing in the room. The knock came again, louder and more insistent, and I lugged myself to my feet. I didn't know who was bothering me at this time of night, but they were certainly about to find out how I felt about it. DCI Mark Cochrane. I'm knocking at the door, and I'm thinking to myself, Julia Torgrimsen. Julia Torgrimsen, you know? The whole ride over I've been thinking about that criminology unit I did at college that basically dedicated a whole module to her. I wrote a paper on her solving the Ealing murders in '04. DCI Grossman dragged me along because I was the only member of his team left in the station at that time, and he said something about how he was going to need someone to level out the fury. But honestly, I was barely listening. The moment he mentioned her name, I had my keys in my hand and was headed for the car. Jesus! I didn't even know she was still alive, you know. I was staying late, getting paperwork done so I didn't drown in it tomorrow. I told Kate I didn't know when I'd be back, so she'd have to feed Lucifer, which she wasn't best pleased about. She hates that cat. We were meant to have dinner together, but she's used to me flaking by now. When we started going out and I was still doing my detective training, I told her, sometimes you're just not going to see me, you know. If this is going to work, you have to know that. Sometimes the job is going to take precedence. It took a while for that to come true, before the sometimes became always, like it had been for the last couple of months. I'm not saying I actually sleep at New Scotland Yard, but it feels like I do. But, hell, I'm working in Grossman CID. That's all the big stuff. Organised crime, murder, conspiracy. God only knows how I got in. They had an entry-level spot open up and I was coming out of training at the right time. They even made me do the authorised firearms training just to join. Grossman's an intimidating guy, and not just physically. He's big, black, and like 6'2", and he's got that voice, you know. It screams authority at you. When he asks, you do. You don't argue. So, obviously, when I heard him arguing at the station, my ears perked up. I know I'm not meant to eavesdrop, but when it's just you and your boss on the whole floor and he's shouting down the phone at someone, what's a man supposed to do?
It's a terrible idea, Sarah,
he was saying.
There's no way any good can come of this.
And?
Yes, I'm aware of that. But what do you expect me to do about it?
It went on like that for a while, and without the other end of the call it was pretty meaningless, but I distinctly remember the last thing he said before he put the phone down.
If it's an order, then it's an order. But I'm stating here on the record that I don't agree with it. That's it.
He puts the phone down, puts his hand on his head for a few seconds, then gets up. As he's leaving and putting on his jacket, he calls to me.
Mark,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?